1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 1. Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim Zophim, of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Zuph, an Ephrathite. 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 2. And he had 2 wives. The name of the one was Hannah, and the name of the other Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 3. And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice to the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. First Samuel chapter 1, verse 6. And her adversary also provoked her sore, for to make her fret, because the Lord had shut up her womb. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 7. And as he did so year by year when she went up to the house of the Lord, so she provoked her. Therefore she wept, and did not eat. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 8. Then said Elkanah her husband to her, Hannah, why weep you? And why eat you not? And why is your heart grieved? Am not I better to you than 10 sons? 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 9. So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat on a seat by a post of the temple of the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 10. And she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed to the Lord, and wept sore. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 11. And she vowed a vow, and said, O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the affliction of your handmaid, and remember me, and not forget your handmaid, but will give to your handmaid a man-child, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come on his head. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 12. And it came to pass, as she continued praying before the Lord, that Eli marked her mouth. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 13. Now Hannah, she spoke in her heart. Only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she had been drunken. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 14. And Eli said to her, How long will you be drunken? Put away your wine from you. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 15. And Hannah answered and said, No, my lord. I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 16. Count not your handmaid for a daughter of Belial, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoken till now. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 17. Then Eli answered and said, Go in peace. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 18. And she said, Let your handmaid find grace in your sight. So the woman went her way, and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 19. And they rose up in the morning early, and worshipped before the Lord, and returned, and came to their house to Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and the Lord remembered her. 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 20. Why it came to pass, when the time was come about, after Hannah had conceived, that she bore a son, and called his name Samuel, saying, Because I have asked him of the Lord. 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 21. And the man Elkanah, and all his house, went up to offer to the Lord the yearly sacrifice, and his vow. 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 22. But Hannah went not up, for she said to her husband, I will not go up until the child be weaned, and then I will bring him, that he may appear before the Lord, and there abide forever. 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 23. And Elkanah her husband said to her, Do what seems you good. Tarry until you have weaned him. Only the Lord establish his word. So the woman stayed, and gave her son suck until she weaned him. 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 24. And when she had weaned him, she took him up with her, with 3 bullocks, and 1 ephah of flour, and a bottle of wine, and brought him into the house of the Lord in Shiloh, and the child was young. 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 25. And they slew a bullock, and brought the child to Eli. 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 26. And she said, O my Lord, as your soul lives, my Lord, I am the woman that stood by you here, praying to the Lord. 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 27. For this child I prayed, and the Lord has given me my petition which I asked of him. 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 1. And Hannah prayed and said, My heart rejoices in the Lord. My horn is exalted in the Lord. My mouth is enlarged over my enemies, because I rejoice in your salvation. 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 2. There is none holy as the Lord, for there is none beside you. Neither is there any rock like our God. 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 4. The bows of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumbled are girded with strength. 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 5. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread, and they that were hungry ceased, so that the barren has borne 7, and she that has many children is waxed feeble. 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 6. The Lord kills and makes alive. He brings down to the grave and brings up. 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 7. The Lord makes poor and makes rich. He brings low and lifts up. 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 8. He raises up the poor out of the dust, and lifts up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he has set the world on them. 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 9. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, for by strength shall no man prevail. 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 10. The adversaries of the Lord shall be broken to pieces. Out of heaven shall he thunder on them. The Lord shall judge the ends of the earth, and he shall give strength to his king, and exalt the horn of his anointed. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 11. And Elkanah went to Ramah to his house, and the child did minister to the Lord before Eli the priest. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 12. Now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial. They knew not the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 13. And the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servant came, while the flesh was in seething, with a meat hook of 3 teeth in his hand. First Samuel chapter 2 verse 15. Also before they burnt the fat, the priest's servant came and said to the man that sacrificed, Give flesh to roast for the priest, for he will not have sodden flesh of you, but raw. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 16. And if any man said to him, Let them not fail to burn the fat presently, and then take as much as your soul desires, then he would answer him, No, but you shall give it me now, and if not, I will take it by force. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 17. Why the sin of the young men was very great before the Lord, for men abhorred the offering of the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 18. But Samuel ministered before the Lord, being a child, girded with a linen ephod. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 19. Moreover, his mother made him a little coat, and brought it to him from year to year, when she came up with her husband to offer the yearly sacrifice. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 20. And Eli blessed Elkanah and his wife and said, The Lord give you seed of this woman for the loan which is lent to the Lord. And they went to their own home. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 21. And the Lord visited Hannah, so that she conceived, and bore 3 sons and 2 daughters. And the child Samuel grew before the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 22. Now Eli was very old, and heard all that his sons did to all Israel, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 23. And he said to them, Why do you such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 24. No, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear. You make the Lord's people to transgress. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 25. If one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against the Lord, who shall entreat for him? Notwithstanding they listen not to the voice of their father, because the Lord would slay them. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 26. And the child Samuel grew on, and was in favor both with the Lord, and also with men. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 27. And there came a man of God to Eli, and said to him, Thus says the Lord, did I plainly appear to the house of your father, when they were in Egypt in Pharaoh's house? 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 28. And did I choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to offer on my altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me? And did I give to the house of your father all the offerings made by fire of the children of Israel? 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 29. Why kick you at my sacrifice and at my offering, which I have commanded in my habitation? and honor your sons above me, to make yourselves fat with the most chief of all the offerings of Israel my people? 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 30. Why the Lord God of Israel said, I said indeed that your house and the house of your father should walk before me forever. But now the Lord says, be it far from me, for them that honor me. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 31. Behold, the days come, that I will cut off your arm and the arm of your father's house, that there shall not be an old man in your house. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 32. And you shall see an enemy in my habitation, in all the wealth which God shall give Israel, and there shall not be an old man in your house forever. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 33. And the man of yours, whom I shall not cut off from my altar, shall be to consume your eyes, and to grieve your heart. And all the increase of your house shall die in the flower of their age. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 34. And this shall be a sign to you, that shall come on your two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they shall die both of them. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 35. And I will raise me up a faithful priest, that shall do according to that which is in my heart and in my mind. And I will build him a sure house, and he shall walk before my anointed forever. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 36. And it shall come to pass, that every one that is left in your house shall come and crouch to him for a piece of silver and a morsel of bread, and shall say, Put me, I pray you, into one of the priest's offices, that I may eat a piece of bread. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 1. And the child Samuel ministered to the Lord before Eli, and the word of the Lord was precious in those days. There was no open vision. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 2. And it came to pass at that time, when Eli was laid down in his place, and his eyes began to wax dim, that he could not see. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 3. And before the lamp of God went out in the temple of the Lord, where the ark of God was, and Samuel was laid down to sleep. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 4. That the Lord called Samuel, and he answered, Here am I. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 5. And he ran to Eli and said, Here am I, for you called me. And he said, I called not, lie down again. And he went and lay down. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 6. And the Lord called yet again Samuel. And Samuel arose and went to Eli and said, Here am I, for you did call me. And he answered, I called not, my son, lie down again. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 7. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, neither was the word of the Lord yet revealed to him. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 8. And the Lord called Samuel again the third time. And he arose and went to Eli and said, Here am I, for you did call me. And Eli perceived that the Lord had called the child. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 9. Therefore Eli said to Samuel, Go lie down, and it shall be, if he call you, that you shall say, Speak, Lord, for your servant hears. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 10. And the Lord came and stood and called as at other times, Samuel, Samuel. Then Samuel answered, Speak, for your servant hears. First Samuel, chapter 3, verse 13. For I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knows, because his sons made themselves vile, and he restrained them not. First Samuel, chapter 3, verse 15. And Samuel lay until the morning, and opened the doors of the house of the Lord. And Samuel feared to show Eli the vision. First Samuel, chapter 3, verse 16. Then Eli called Samuel, and said, Samuel, my son. And he answered, Here am I. First Samuel, chapter 3, verse 17. And he said, What is the thing that the Lord has said to you? I pray you hide it not from me. God do so to you. And more also, if you hide anything from me of all the things that he said to you. First Samuel, chapter 3, verse 18. And Samuel told him every whit, and hid nothing from him. And he said, It is the Lord. Let him do what seems him good. First Samuel, chapter 3, verse 20. And all Israel from Dan even to Beersheba knew that Samuel was established to be a prophet of the Lord. First Samuel, chapter 3, verse 21. And the Lord appeared again in Shiloh, for the Lord revealed himself to Samuel in Shiloh by the word of the Lord. First Samuel, chapter 4, verse 1. And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out against the Philistines to battle, and pitched beside Ebenezer, and the Philistines pitched in Aphek. First Samuel, chapter 4, verse 2. And the Philistines put themselves in array against Israel, and when they joined battle, Israel was smitten before the Philistines, and they slew of the army in the field about 4,000 men. First Samuel, chapter 4, verse 3. And when the people were come into the camp, the elders of Israel said, Why has the Lord smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us fetch the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of Shiloh to us, that, when it comes among us, it may save us out of the hand of our enemies. First Samuel, chapter 4, verse 4. So the people sent to Shiloh, that they might bring from there the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, which dwells between the cherubim. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of God. First Samuel, chapter 4, verse 5. And when the ark of the covenant of the Lord came into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth rang again. First Samuel, chapter 4, verse 6. And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, What means the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? And they understood that the ark of the Lord was come into the camp. First Samuel, chapter 4, verse 7. And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, God is come into the camp. And they said, Woe to us! for there has not been such a thing heretofore. 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 8. Woe to us! Who shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods? These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness. 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 9. Be strong and quit yourselves like men, O you Philistines, that you be not servants to the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Quit yourselves like men and fight. First Samuel, chapter 4, verse 11. And the ark of God was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were slain. 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 12. And there ran a man of Benjamin out of the army, and came to Shiloh the same day with his clothes rent, and with earth on his head. 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 13. And when he came, see, Eli sat on a seat by the wayside watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of God. And when the man came into the city and told it, all the city cried out. 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 14. And when Eli heard the noise of the crying, he said, What means the noise of this tumult? And the man came in hastily, and told Eli. 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 15. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were dim, that he could not see. 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 16. And the man said to Eli, I am he that came out of the army, and I fled today out of the army. And he said, What is there done, my son? 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 17. And the messenger answered and said, Israel has fled before the Philistines, and there has been also a great slaughter among the people. And your two sons also, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of God is taken. 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 18. And it came to pass, when he made mention of the ark of God, that he fell from off the seat backward by the side of the gate, and his neck broke, and he died, for he was an old man and heavy, and he had judged Israel 40 years. 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 19. And his daughter-in-law, Phinehas' wife, was with child, near to be delivered. And when she heard the tidings that the ark of God was taken, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed herself and travailed, for her pains came on her. 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 20. And about the time of her death, the women that stood by her said to her, Fear not, for you have borne a son. But she answered not, neither did she regard it. 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 21. And she named the child Ichabod, saying, The glory is departed from Israel, because the ark of God was taken, and because of her father-in-law and her husband. 1 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 22. And she said, The glory is departed from Israel, for the ark of God is taken. 1 Samuel, chapter 5, verse 1. And the Philistines took the ark of God, and brought it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. 1 Samuel, chapter 5, verse 2. When the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon, and set it by Dagon. 1 Samuel, chapter 5, verse 3. And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen on his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. And they took Dagon, and set him in his place again. 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 4. And when they arose early on the morrow morning, behold, Dagon was fallen on his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. And the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off on the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him. 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 5. Therefore neither the priests of Dagon, nor any that come into Dagon's house, tread on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod to this day. 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 6. But the hand of the Lord was heavy on them of Ashdod, and he destroyed them, and smote them with tumors, even Ashdod and the coast thereof. 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 7. And when the men of Ashdod saw that it was so, they said, The ark of the God of Israel shall not abide with us, for his hand is sore on us, and on Dagon, our God. 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 8. They sent therefore and gathered all the lords of the Philistines to them, and said, What shall we do with the ark of the God of Israel? And they answered, Let the ark of the God of Israel be carried about to Gath. And they carried the ark of the God of Israel about thither. 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 9. And it was so, that after they had carried it about, the hand of the Lord was against the city, with a very great destruction. And he smote the men of the city, both small and great, and they had tumors in their secret parts. 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 10. Therefore they sent the ark of God to Ekron. And it came to pass, as the ark of God came to Ekron, that the Ekronites cried out, saying, They have brought about the ark of the God of Israel to us, to slay us and our people. 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 11. So they sent and gathered together all the lords of the Philistines, and said, Send away the ark of the God of Israel, and let it go again to his own place, that it slay us not and our people. For there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city. The hand of God was very heavy there. 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 12. And the men that died not were smitten with the tumors, and the cry of the city went up to heaven. 1 Samuel chapter 6 verse 1. And the ark of the Lord was in the country of the Philistines 7 months. 1 Samuel chapter 6 verse 2. And the Philistines called for the priests and the diviners, saying, What shall we do to the ark of the Lord? Tell us with which we shall send it to his place. 1 Samuel chapter 6 verse 3. And they said, If you send away the ark of the God of Israel, send it not empty, but in any wise return him a trespass offering. Then you shall be healed, and it shall be known to you why his hand is not removed from you. 1 Samuel chapter 6 verse 4. Then said they, What shall be the trespass offering, which we shall return to him? They answered, 5 golden tumors, and 5 golden mice, according to the number of the lords of the Philistines. For one plague was on you all, and on your lords. 1 Samuel chapter 6 verse 5. Why you shall make images of your tumors, and images of your mice, that mar the land. And you shall give glory to the God of Israel. Peradventure he will lighten his hand from off you, and from off your gods, and from off your land. 1 Samuel chapter 6 verse 6. Why then do you harden your hearts, as the Egyptians and Pharaoh hardened their hearts, when he had worked wonderfully among them? Did they not let the people go? And they departed. 1 Samuel chapter 6 verse 7. Now therefore make a new cart, and take 2 milk cows, on which there has come no yoke, and tie the cows to the cart, and bring their calves home from them. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 8. And take the ark of the Lord, and lay it on the cart, and put the jewels of gold, which you return him for a trespass offering, in a coffer by the side thereof, and send it away, that it may go. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 9. And see if it goes up by the way of his own coast to Bethshemesh, then he has done us this great evil. But if not, then we shall know that it is not his hand that smote us. It was a chance that happened to us. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 10. And the men did so, and took 2 milk cows, and tied them to the cart, and shut up their calves at home. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 11. And they laid the ark of the Lord on the cart, and the coffer with the mice of gold, and the images of their tumors. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 12. And the cows took the straight way to the way of Bethshemesh, and went along the highway, lowing as they went, and turned not aside to the right hand or to the left. And the lords of the Philistines went after them to the border of Bethshemesh. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 13. And they of Bethshemesh were reaping their wheat harvest in the valley, and they lifted up their eyes, and saw the ark, and rejoiced to see it. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 14. And the cart came into the field of Joshua, a Bethshemite, and stood there, where there was a great stone. And they split the wood of the cart, and offered the cows a burnt offering to the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 15. And the Levites took down the ark of the Lord, and the coffer that was with it, wherein the jewels of gold were, and put them on the great stone. And the men of Bethshemesh offered burnt offerings and sacrificed sacrifices the same day to the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 16. And when the 5 lords of the Philistines had seen it, they returned to Ekron the same day. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 17. And these are the golden tumors which the Philistines returned for a trespass offering to the Lord. For Ashdod 1, for Gaza 1, for Askelon 1, for Ath 1, for Ekron 1. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 18. And the golden mice, according to the number of all the cities of the Philistines belonging to the 5 lords, both of fenced cities and of country villages, even to the great stone of Abel, whereon they set down the ark of the Lord, which stone remains to this day in the field of Joshua, the Bethshemite. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 19. And he smote the men of Bethshemesh, because they had looked into the ark of the Lord. Even he smote of the people 50,060 men. And the people lamented, because the Lord had smitten many of the people with a great slaughter. 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 20. And the men of Bethshemesh said, Who is able to stand before this holy Lord God? And to whom shall he go up from us? 1 Samuel chapter 6, verse 21. And they sent messengers to the inhabitants of Kirjath-jearim, saying, The Philistines have brought again the ark of the Lord. Come you down and fetch it up to you. 1 Samuel chapter 7, verse 1. And the men of Kirjath-jearim came, and fetched up the ark of the Lord, and brought it into the house of Abinadab in the hill, and sanctified Eleazar his son to keep the ark of the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 7, verse 2. And it came to pass, while the ark stayed in Kirjath-jearim, that the time was long, for it was 20 years, and all the house of Israel lamented after the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 7, verse 3. And Samuel spoke to all the house of Israel, saying, "If you do return to the Lord with all your hearts, then put away the strange gods and Ashtaroth from among you, and prepare your hearts to the Lord, and serve him only, and he will deliver you out of the hand of the Philistines." First Samuel chapter 7, verse 5. And Samuel said, "Gather all Israel to Mizpeh, and I will pray for you to the Lord." First Samuel chapter 7, verse 6. And they gathered together to Mizpeh, and drew water, and poured it out before the Lord, and fasted on that day, and said there, "We have sinned against the Lord." And Samuel judged the children of Israel in Mizpeh. First Samuel chapter 7, verse 7. And when the Philistines heard that the children of Israel were gathered together to Mizpeh, the lords of the Philistines went up against Israel. And when the children of Israel heard it, they were afraid of the Philistines. First Samuel chapter 7, verse 8. And the children of Israel said to Samuel, "Cease not to cry to the Lord our God for us, that he will save us out of the hand of the Philistines." First Samuel chapter 7, verse 9. And Samuel took a sucking lamb and offered it for a burnt offering holy to the Lord. And Samuel cried to the Lord for Israel, and the Lord heard him. First Samuel chapter 7, verse 10. And as Samuel was offering up the burnt offering, the Philistines drew near to battle against Israel. But the Lord thundered with a great thunder on that day on the Philistines, and discomfited them, and they were smitten before Israel. First Samuel chapter 7, verse 11. And the men of Israel went out of Mizpeh, and pursued the Philistines, and smote them until they came under Bethkar. First Samuel chapter 7, verse 12. Then Samuel took a stone, and set it between Mizpeh and Shen, and called the name of it Ebenezer, saying, "Till now has the Lord helped us." First Samuel chapter 7, verse 13. So the Philistines were subdued, and they came no more into the coast of Israel. And the hand of the Lord was against the Philistines all the days of Samuel. First Samuel chapter 7, verse 14. And the cities which the Philistines had taken from Israel were restored to Israel, from Ekron even to Gath. And the coasts thereof did Israel deliver out of the hands of the Philistines. And there was peace between Israel and the Amorites. First Samuel chapter 7, verse 15. And Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life. First Samuel chapter 7, verse 16. And he went from year to year in circuit to Bethel, and Gilgal, and Mizpeh, and judged Israel in all those places. First Samuel chapter 7, verse 17. And his return was to Ramah, for there was his house, and there he judged Israel, and there he built an altar to the Lord. First Samuel chapter 8, verse 1. And it came to pass, when Samuel was old, that he made his sons judges over Israel. First Samuel chapter 8, verse 2. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second, Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba. First Samuel chapter 8, verse 3. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes, and perverted judgment. First Samuel chapter 8, verse 4. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together, and came to Samuel to Ramah. First Samuel chapter 8, verse 5, and said to him, Behold, you are old, and your sons walk not in your ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 6. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed to the Lord. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 7. And the Lord said to Samuel, Listen to the voice of the people in all that they say to you. For they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 8. According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even to this day, with which they have forsaken me, and served other gods, so do they also to you. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 9. Now therefore listen to their voice, however, yet protest solemnly to them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 10. And Samuel told all the words of the Lord to the people that asked of him a king. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 11. And he said, This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons, and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 12. And he will appoint him captains over thousands, and captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war, and instruments of his chariots. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 13. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 14. And he will take your fields, and your vineyards, and your olive groves, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 15. And he will take the tenth of your seed, and of your vineyards, and give to his officers, and to his servants. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 16. And he will take your menservants, and your maidservants, and your best young men, and your asses, and put them to his work. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 17. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and you shall be his servants. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 18. And you shall cry out in that day because of your king which you shall have chosen you, and the Lord will not hear you in that day. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 19. Nevertheless the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel. And they said, No, but we will have a king over us. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 20. That we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us, and go out before us, and fight our battles. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 21. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of the Lord. 1 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 22. And the Lord said to Samuel, Listen to their voice, and make them a king. And Samuel said to the men of Israel, Go you every man to his city. 1 Samuel, chapter 9, verse 1. Now there was a man of Benjamin, whose name was Kish, the son of Abiel, the son of Zerah, the son of Bechorath, the son of Aphiah, a Benjamite, a mighty man of power. 1 Samuel, chapter 9, verse 2. And he had a son, whose name was Saul, a choice young man, and a goodly. And there was not among the children of Israel a goodlier person than he. From his shoulders and upward he was higher than any of the people. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 3. And the asses of Kish Saul's father were lost. And Kish said to Saul his son, Take now one of the servants with you, and arise, go seek the asses. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 4. And he passed through Mount Ephraim, and passed through the land of Shalisha, but they found them not. Then they passed through the land of Shalim, and there they were not. And he passed through the land of the Benjamites, but they found them not. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 5. And when they were come to the land of Zuph, Saul said to his servant that was with him, Come, and let us return, lest my father leave caring for the asses and take thought for us. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 6. And he said to him, Behold now, there is in the city a man of God, and he is an honorable man. All that he says comes surely to pass. Now let us go thither. Peradventure he can show us our way that we should go. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 7. Then said Saul to his servant, But, behold, if we go, what shall we bring the man? For the bread is spent in our vessels, and there is not a present to bring to the man of God. What have we? 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 8. And the servant answered Saul again, and said, Behold, I have here at hand the fourth part of a shekel of silver. That will I give to the man of God, to tell us our way. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 9. Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of God, thus he spoke, Come, and let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 10. Then said Saul to his servant, Well said. Come, let us go. So they went to the city where the man of God was. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 11. And as they went up the hill to the city, they found young maidens going out to draw water, and said to them, Is the seer here? 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 12. And they answered them, and said, He is. Behold, he is before you. Make haste now, for he came today to the city, for there is a sacrifice of the people today in the high place. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 13. As soon as you be come into the city, you shall straightway find him, before he go up to the high place to eat. For the people will not eat until he come, because he does bless the sacrifice. And afterwards they eat that be bidden. Now therefore get you up, for about this time you shall find him. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 14. And they went up into the city, and when they were come into the city, behold, Samuel came out against them, for to go up to the high place. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 15. Now the Lord had told Samuel in his ear a day before Saul came, saying, 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 16. Tomorrow about this time I will send you a man out of the land of Benjamin, and you shall anoint him to be captain over my people Israel, that he may save my people out of the hand of the Philistines. For I have looked on my people, because their cries come to me. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 17. And when Samuel saw Saul, the Lord said to him, Behold the man whom I spoke to you of, this same shall reign over my people. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 18. Then Saul drew near to Samuel in the gate, and said, Tell me, I pray you, where the seer's house is. 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 19. And Samuel answered Saul and said, I am the seer. Go up before me to the high place, for you shall eat with me today, and tomorrow I will let you go, and will tell you all that is in your heart. 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 20. And as for your asses that were lost 3 days ago, set not your mind on them, for they are found. And on whom is all the desire of Israel? Is it not on you and on all your father's house? 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 21. And Saul answered and said, Am not I a Benjamite, of the smallest of the tribes of Israel, and my family the least of all the families of the tribe of Benjamin? Why then speak you so to me? First Samuel chapter 9, verse 24. And the cook took up the shoulder, and that which was on it, and set it before Saul. And Samuel said, Behold that which is left. Set it before you, and eat. For to this time has it been kept for you, since I said, I have invited the people. So Saul did eat with Samuel that day. 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 25. And when they were come down from the high place into the city, Samuel communed with Saul on the top of the house. 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 26. And they arose early, and it came to pass about the spring of the day that Samuel called Saul to the top of the house, saying, Up, that I may send you away. And Saul arose, and they went out both of them, he and Samuel, abroad. 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 27. And as they were going down to the end of the city, Samuel said to Saul, Bid the servant pass on before us. And he passed on. But stand you still a while, that I may show you the word of God. 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 1. Then Samuel took a vial of oil, and poured it on his head, and kissed him, and said, Is it not because the Lord has anointed you to be captain over his inheritance? 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 2. When you are departed from me today, then you shall find 2 men by Rachel's sepulchre in the border of Benjamin, at Zelzah. And they will say to you, The asses which you went to seek are found. And see, your father has left the care of the asses, and sorrows for you, saying, What shall I do for my son? 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 3. Then shall you go on forward from there, and you shall come to the plain of Tabor, and there shall meet you 3 men going up to God to Bethel, one carrying 3 kids, and another carrying 3 loaves of bread, and another carrying a bottle of wine. 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 4. And they will salute you, and give you 2 loaves of bread, which you shall receive of their hands. 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 5. After that you shall come to the hill of God, where is the garrison of the Philistines. And it shall come to pass, when you are come thither to the city, that you shall meet a company of prophets coming down from the high place with a psaltery, and a tabret, and a harp, before them, and they shall prophesy. 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 6. And the Spirit of the Lord will come on you, and you shall prophesy with them, and shall be turned into another man. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 7. And let it be, when these signs are come to you, that you do as occasion serve you, for God is with you. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 8. And you shall go down before me to Gilgal, and, behold, I will come down to you, to offer burnt offerings, and to sacrifice sacrifices of peace offerings. 7 days shall you tarry, till I come to you, and show you what you shall do. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 9. And it was so, that when he had turned his back to go from Samuel, God gave him another heart, and all those signs came to pass that day. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 10. And when they came thither to the hill, behold, a company of prophets met him, and the Spirit of God came on him, and he prophesied among them. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 11. And it came to pass, when all that knew him beforetime saw that, behold, he prophesied among the prophets. Then the people said one to another, What is this that is come to the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets? 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 12. And one of the same place answered and said, But who is their father? Therefore it became a proverb, Is Saul also among the prophets? 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 13. And when he had made an end of prophesying, he came to the high place. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 14. And Saul's uncle said to him and to his servant, Where went you? And he said, To seek the asses. And when we saw that they were nowhere, we came to Samuel. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 15. And Saul's uncle said, Tell me, I pray you, what Samuel said to you. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 16. And Saul said to his uncle, He told us plainly that the asses were found, but of the matter of the kingdom, whereof Samuel spoke, he told him not. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 17. And Samuel called the people together to the Lord to Mizpeh. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 18. And said to the children of Israel, Thus says the Lord God of Israel, I brought up Israel out of Egypt, and delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of all kingdoms, and of them that oppressed you. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 19. And you have this day rejected your God, who himself saved you out of all your adversities and your tribulations. And you have said to him, No, but set a king over us. Now therefore, present yourselves before the Lord by your tribes, and by your thousands. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 20. And when Samuel had caused all the tribes of Israel to come near, the tribe of Benjamin was taken. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 21. When he had caused the tribe of Benjamin to come near by their families, the family of Matri was taken, and Saul the son of Kish was taken. And when they sought him, he could not be found. First Samuel, chapter 10, verse 23. And they ran and fetched him there. And when he stood among the people, he was higher than any of the people from his shoulders and upward. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 24. And Samuel said to all the people, See you him whom the Lord has chosen, that there is none like him among all the people? And all the people shouted and said, God save the king. 1 Samuel, chapter 10, verse 25. Then Samuel told the people the manner of the kingdom, and wrote it in a book, and laid it up before the Lord. And Samuel sent all the people away, every man to his house. 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 26. And Saul also went home to Gibeah, and there went with him a band of men, whose hearts God had touched. 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 27. But the children of Belial said, How shall this man save us? And they despised him, and brought no presents, but he held his peace. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1. Then Nahash the Ammonite came up, and encamped against Jabesh-Gilead. And all the men of Jabesh said to Nahash, Make a covenant with us, and we will serve you. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 2. And Nahash the Ammonite answered them, On this condition will I make a covenant with you, that I may thrust out all your right eyes, and lay it for a reproach on all Israel. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 3. And the elders of Jabesh said to him, Give us 7 days' respite, that we may send messengers to all the coasts of Israel. And then, if there be no man to save us, we will come out to you. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 40. Then came the messengers to Gibeah of Saul, and told the tidings in the ears of the people. And all the people lifted up their voices and wept. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 5. And, behold, Saul came after the herd out of the field. And Saul said, What ails the people that they weep? And they told him the tidings of the men of Jabesh. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 6. And the Spirit of God came on Saul when he heard those tidings, and his anger was kindled greatly. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 7. And he took a yoke of oxen, and hewed them in pieces, and sent them throughout all the coasts of Israel by the hands of messengers, saying, Whoever comes not forth after Saul and after Samuel, so shall it be done to his oxen. And the fear of the Lord fell on the people, and they came out with one consent. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 8. And when he numbered them in Bezek, the children of Israel were 300,000, and the men of Judah 30,000. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 9. And they said to the messengers that came, Thus shall you say to the men of Jabesh-Gilead, Tomorrow, by that time the sun be hot, you shall have help. And the messengers came and showed it to the men of Jabesh, and they were glad. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 10. Therefore the men of Jabesh said, Tomorrow we will come out to you, and you shall do with us all that seems good to you. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 11. And it was so on the morrow that Saul put the people in 3 companies. And they came into the middle of the host in the morning watch, and slew the Ammonites until the heat of the day. And it came to pass that they which remained were scattered, so that 2 of them were not left together. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 12. And the people said to Samuel, Who is he that said, Shall Saul reign over us? Bring them in, that we may put them to death. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 13. And Saul said, There shall not a man be put to death this day, for today the Lord has worked salvation in Israel. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 14. Then said Samuel to the people, Come, and let us go to Gilgal, and renew the kingdom there. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 15. And all the people went to Gilgal. And there they made Saul king before the Lord in Gilgal. And there they sacrificed sacrifices of peace offerings before the Lord. And there Saul and all the men of Israel rejoiced greatly. 1 Samuel chapter 12, Verse 1. And Samuel said to all Israel, Behold, I have listened to your voice in all that you said to me, and have made a king over you. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 2. And now, behold, the king walks before you. And I am old and gray-headed. And, behold, my sons are with you. And I have walked before you from my childhood to this day. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 3. Behold, here I am, witness against me before the Lord, and before his anointed. Whose ox have I taken? Or whose ass have I taken? Or whom have I defrauded? Whom have I oppressed? Or of whose hand have I received any bribe to blind my eyes therewith? And I will restore it you. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 4. And they said, You have not defrauded us, nor oppressed us, neither have you taken anything of any man's hand. First Samuel chapter 12, verse 6. And Samuel said to the people, It is the Lord that advanced Moses and Aaron, and that brought your fathers up out of the land of Egypt. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 7. Now therefore stand still, that I may reason with you before the Lord of all the righteous acts of the Lord, which he did to you and to your fathers. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 8. When Jacob was come into Egypt, and your fathers cried to the Lord, then the Lord sent Moses and Aaron, which brought forth your fathers out of Egypt, and made them dwell in this place. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 9. And when they forgot the Lord their God, he sold them into the hand of Sisera, captain of the host of Hazor, and into the hand of the Philistines, and into the hand of the king of Moab, and they fought against them. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 10. And they cried to the Lord, and said, We have sinned, because we have forsaken the Lord, and have served Baalim and Ashtaroth. But now deliver us out of the hand of our enemies, and we will serve you. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 11. And the Lord sent Jerubbaal, and Bedan, and Jephthah, and Samuel, and delivered you out of the hand of your enemies on every side, and you dwelt safe. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 12. And when you saw that Nahash the king of the children of Ammon came against you, you said to me, No, but a king shall reign over us, when the Lord your God was your king. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 13. Now therefore behold the king whom you have chosen, and whom you have desired. And, behold, the Lord has set a king over you. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 14. If you will fear the Lord, and serve him, and obey his voice, and not rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then shall both you and also the king that reigns over you continue following the Lord your God. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 15. But if you will not obey the voice of the Lord, but rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then shall the hand of the Lord be against you, as it was against your fathers. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 16. Now therefore stand and see this great thing, which the Lord will do before your eyes. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 18. So Samuel called to the Lord, and the Lord sent thunder and rain that day. And all the people greatly feared the Lord and Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 19. And all the people said to Samuel, Pray for your servants to the Lord your God, that we die not. For we have added to all our sins this evil, to ask us a king. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 20. And Samuel said to the people, Fear not, you have done all this wickedness. Yet turn not aside from following the Lord, but serve the Lord with all your heart. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 21. And turn you not aside, for then should you go after vain things, which cannot profit nor deliver, for they are vain. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 22. For the Lord will not forsake his people, for his great name's sake, because it has pleased the Lord to make you his people. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 23. Moreover, as for me, God forbid that I should sin against the Lord in ceasing to pray for you. But I will teach you the good and the right way. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 24. Only fear the Lord and serve him in truth with all your heart, for consider how great things he has done for you. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 25. But if you shall still do wickedly, you shall be consumed, both you and your king. 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 1. Saul reigned 1 year, and when he had reigned 2 years over Israel. 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 2. Saul chose him 3,000 men of Israel, whereof 2,000 were with Saul in Michmash and in Mount Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan in Geba of Benjamin. And the rest of the people he sent every man to his tent. 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 3. And Jonathan smote the garrison of the Philistines that was in Geba, and the Philistines heard of it. And Saul blew the trumpet throughout all the land, saying, Let the Hebrews hear. 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 5. And the Philistines gathered themselves together to fight with Israel, 30,000 chariots, and 6,000 horsemen, and people as the sand which is on the seashore in multitude. And they came up and pitched in Michmash, eastward from Bethaven. 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 6. When the men of Israel saw that they were in a strait, for the people were distressed, then the people did hide themselves in caves, and in thickets, and in rocks, and in high places, and in pits. 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 7. And some of the Hebrews went over Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling. 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 8. And he tarried 7 days, according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 9. And Saul said, Bring here a burnt offering to me, and peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering. 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 10. And it came to pass, that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came, and Saul went out to meet him, that he might salute him. 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 11. And Samuel said, "What have you done?" And Saul said, "Because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that you came not within the days appointed, and that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash." 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 12. Therefore said I, "The Philistines will come down now on me to Gilgal, and I have not made supplication to the Lord. I forced myself therefore, and offered a burnt offering." 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 13. And Samuel said to Saul, "You have done foolishly. You have not kept the commandment of the Lord your God, which he commanded you. For now would the Lord have established your kingdom on Israel forever." 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 14. But now your kingdom shall not continue. The Lord has sought him a man after his own heart, and the Lord has commanded him to be captain over his people, because you have not kept that which the Lord commanded you. 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 15. And Samuel arose, and got him up from Gilgal to Gibeah of Benjamin. And Saul numbered the people that were present with him, about 600 men. 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 16. And Saul, and Jonathan his son, and the people that were present with them, stayed in Gibeah of Benjamin, but the Philistines encamped in Michmash. 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 17. And the spoilers came out of the camp of the Philistines in 3 companies. One company turned to the way that leads to Ophrah, to the land of Shual. 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 18. And another company turned the way to Bethhoron, and another company turned to the way of the border that looks to the valley of Zeboim toward the wilderness. 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 19. Now there was no smith found throughout all the land of Israel. For the Philistines said, "Lest the Hebrews make them swords or spears." 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 20. But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines, to sharpen every man his share, and his coulter, and his axe, and his mattock. 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 21. Yet they had a file for the mattocks, and for the coulters, and for the forks, and for the axes, and to sharpen the goads. 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 22. So it came to pass in the day of battle, that there was neither sword nor spear found in the hand of any of the people that were with Saul and Jonathan. But with Saul and with Jonathan, his son was there found. 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 23. And the garrison of the Philistines went out to the passage of Michmash. 1 Samuel, chapter 14, verse 1. Now it came to pass on a day, that Jonathan the son of Saul said to the young man that bore his armor, "Come, and let us go over to the Philistines' garrison, that is on the other side." But he told not his father. 1 Samuel, chapter 14, verse 2. And Saul tarried in the uttermost part of Gibeah, under a pomegranate tree which is in Migron, and the people that were with him were about 600 men. 1 Samuel, chapter 14, verse 3. And Ahiah, the son of Ahitub, Ichabod's brother, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eli, the Lord's priest in Shiloh, wearing an ephod. And the people knew not that Jonathan was gone. 1 Samuel, chapter 14, verse 14. And between the passages, by which Jonathan sought to go over to the Philistines' garrison, there was a sharp rock on the one side, and a sharp rock on the other side. And the name of the one was Bozez, and the name of the other, Seneh. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 5. The forefront of the one was situate northward over against Mish, and the other southward over against Gibeah. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 6. And Jonathan said to the young man that bore his armor, "Come, and let us go over to the garrison of these uncircumcised. It may be that the Lord will work for us, for there is no restraint to the Lord to save by many or by few." 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 7. And his armor-bearer said to him, "Do all that is in your heart. Turn you. Behold, I am with you according to your heart." 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 8. Then said Jonathan, "Behold, we will pass over to these men, and we will discover ourselves to them." 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 9. If say thus to us, "Tarry until we come to you," then we will stand still in our place, and will not go up to them. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 10. But if they say thus, "Come up to us," then we will go up. For the Lord has delivered them into our hand, and this shall be a sign to us. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 11. And both of them discovered themselves to the garrison of the Philistines. And the Philistines said, "Behold, the Hebrews come forth out of the holes where they had hid themselves." 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 12. And the men of the garrison answered Jonathan and his armor-bearer, and said, "Come up to us, and we will show you a thing." And Jonathan said to his armor-bearer, "Come up after me, for the Lord has delivered them into the hand of Israel." 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 13. And Jonathan climbed up on his hands and on his feet, and his armor-bearer after him. And they fell before Jonathan, and his armor-bearer slew after him. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 14. And that first slaughter, which Jonathan and his armor-bearer made, was about 20 men, within out 20 men, within as it were an half acre of land, which a yoke of oxen might plow. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 15. And there was trembling in the host, in the field, and among all the people, the garrison, and the spoilers, they also trembled, and the earth quaked, so it was a very great trembling. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 16. And the watchmen of Saul and Gibeah of Benjamin looked, and behold, the multitude melted away, and they went on beating down one another. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 17. Then said Saul to the people that were with him, "Number now, and see who is gone from us." And when they had numbered, behold, Jonathan and his armor-bearer were not there. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 18. And Saul said to Ahiah, "Bring here the ark of God," for the ark of God was at that time with the children of Israel. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 19. And it came to pass, while Saul talked to the priest, that the noise that was in the host of the Philistines went on and increased. And Saul said to the priest, "Withdraw your hand." 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 20. And Saul and all the people that were with him assembled themselves, and they came to the battle. And, behold, every man's sword was against his fellow, and there was a very great discomfiture. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 21. Moreover, the Hebrews that were with the Philistines before that time, which went up with them into the camp from the country round about, even they also turned to be with the Israelites that were with Saul and Jonathan. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 22. Likewise all the men of Israel which had hid themselves in Mount Ephraim, when they heard that the Philistines fled, even they also followed hard after them in the battle. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 23. So the Lord saved Israel that day, and the battle passed over to Bethaven. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 24. And the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, Cursed be the man that eats any food until evening, that I may be avenged on my enemies. So none of the people tasted any food. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 25. And all they of the land came to a wood, and there was honey on the ground. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 26. And when the people were come into the wood, behold, the honey dropped, but no man put his hand to his mouth, for the people feared the oath. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 27. But Jonathan heard not when his father charged the people with the oath. Why he put forth the end of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it in an honeycomb, and put his hand to his mouth, and his eyes were enlightened. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 28. Then answered one of the people and said, Your father straitly charged the people with an oath, saying, Cursed be the man that eats any food this day. And the people were faint. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 29. Then said Jonathan, My father has troubled the land. See, I pray you, how my eyes have been enlightened, because I tasted a little of this honey. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 30. How much more, if haply the people had eaten freely today of the spoil of their enemies which they found? For had there not been now a much greater slaughter among the Philistines? 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 31. And they smote the Philistines that day from Michmash to Ajalon, and the people were very faint. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 32. And the people flew on the spoil, and took sheep, and oxen, and calves, and slew them on the ground, and the people did eat them with the blood. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 33. Then they told Saul, saying, Behold, the people sin against the Lord, in that they eat with the blood. And he said, You have transgressed. Roll a great stone to me this day. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 34. And Saul said, Disperse yourselves among the people, and say to them, Bring me here every man his ox, and every man his sheep, and slay them here, and eat, and sin not against the Lord in eating with the blood. And all the people brought every man his ox with him that night, and slew them there. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 35. And Saul built an altar to the Lord. The same was the first altar that he built to the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 36. And Saul said, Let us go down after the Philistines by night, and spoil them until the morning light, and let us not leave a man of them. And they said, Do whatever seems good to you. Then said the priest, Let us draw near here to God. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 37. And Saul asked counsel of God, Shall I go down after the Philistines? Will you deliver them into the hand of Israel? But he answered him not that day. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 38. And Saul said, Draw you near here, all the chief of the people, and know and see wherein the sin has been this day. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 39. For as the Lord lives, which saves Israel, though it be in Jonathan my son, he shall surely die. But there was not a man among all the people that answered him. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 40. Then said he to all Israel, Be you on one side, and I and Jonathan my son will be on the other side. And the people said to Saul, Do what seems good to you. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 41. Therefore Saul said to the Lord God of Israel, Give a perfect lot. And Saul and Jonathan were taken, but the people escaped. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 42. And Saul said, Cast lots between me and Jonathan my son. And Jonathan was taken. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 43. Then Saul said to Jonathan, Tell me what you have done. And Jonathan told him and said, I did but taste a little honey with the end of the rod that was in my hand. And see, I must die. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 44. And Saul answered, God do so and more also, for you shall surely die, Jonathan. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 45. And the people said to Saul, Shall Jonathan die, who has worked this great salvation in Israel? God forbid. As the Lord lives, there shall not one hair of his head fall to the ground, for he has worked with God this day. So the people rescued Jonathan, that he died not. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 46. Then Saul went up from following the Philistines, and the Philistines went to their own place. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 47. So Saul took the kingdom over Israel, and fought against all his enemies on every side, against Moab, and against the children of Ammon, and against the kings of Zobah, and against the kings of Zobah, and against the Philistines. And wherever he turned himself, he vexed them. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 48. And he gathered in host, and smote the Amalekites, and delivered Israel out of the hands of them that spoiled them. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 50. And the name of Saul's wife was Ahinoam, the daughter of Ahimaaz. And the name of the captain of his host was Abner, the son of Ner, Saul's uncle. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 52. And there was sore war against the Philistines all the days of Saul. And when Saul saw any strong man or any valiant man, he took him to him. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1. Samuel also said to Saul, The Lord sent me to anoint you to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore listen you to the voice of the words of the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 2. Thus says the Lord of hosts, I remembered that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way, when he came up from Egypt. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 3. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 40. And Saul gathered the people together, and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen, and 10,000 men of Judah. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 5. And Saul came to a city of Amalek, and laid wait in the valley. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 6. And Saul said to the Kenites, Go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For you showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 7. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until you come to Shur. That is over against Egypt. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 8. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 9. But Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatted calves, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refuse, that they destroyed utterly. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 10. Then came the word of the Lord to Samuel, saying, 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 11. It repents me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me, and has not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried to the Lord all night. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 12. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 13. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said to him, Blessed be you of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 14. And Samuel said, What means then this bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 15. And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen, to sacrifice to the Lord your God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 16. Then Samuel said to Saul, Stay, and I will tell you what the Lord has said to me this night. And he said to him, Say on. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 17. And Samuel said, When you were little in your own sight, were you not made the head of the tribes of Israel, and the Lord anointed you king over Israel? 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 18. And the Lord sent you on a journey, and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 19. Why then did you not obey the voice of the Lord, but did fly on the spoil, and did evil in the sight of the Lord? 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 20. And Saul said to Samuel, Yes, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 21. But the people took of the spoil, sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice to the Lord your God in Gilgal. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 22. And Samuel said, Has the Lord his great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to listen than the fat of rams. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has also rejected you from being king. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 24. And Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and your words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 25. Now therefore I pray you, pardon my sin, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 26. And Samuel said to Saul, I will not return with you, for you have rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord has rejected you from being king over Israel. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 27. And as Samuel turned about to go away, he laid hold on the skirt of his mantle. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 28. And Samuel said to him, The Lord has rent the kingdom of Israel from you this day, and has given it to a neighbor of yours. That is better than you. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 29. And also the strength of Israel will not lie nor repent, for he is not a man that he should repent. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 30. Then he said, I have sinned, yet honor me now, I pray you, before the elders of my people, and before Israel, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Lord your God. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 31. So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshipped the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 32. Then said Samuel, Bring you here to me, Agag the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came to him delicately. And Agag said, Surely the bitterness of death is past. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 33. And Samuel said, As the sword has made women childless, so shall your mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Lord in Gilgal. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 34. Then Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house to Gibeah of Saul. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 35. And Samuel came no more to see Saul until the day of his death. Nevertheless Samuel mourned for Saul, and the Lord repented that he had made Saul king over Israel. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 1. And the Lord said to Samuel, How long will you mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill your horn with oil, and go. I will send you to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 2. And Samuel said, How can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And the Lord said, Take an heifer with you, and say, I am come to sacrifice to the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 3. And call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show you what you shall do, and you shall anoint to me him whom I name to you. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 4. And Samuel did that which the Lord spoke and came to Bethlehem. And the elders of the town trembled at his coming and said, Come you peaceably? First Samuel chapter 16, verse 6. And it came to pass, when they were come, that he looked on Eliab, and said, Surely the Lord's anointed is before him. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 7. But the Lord said to Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. For man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 8. Then Jesse called Abinadab, and made him pass before Samuel. And he said, Neither has the Lord chosen this. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 9. Then Jesse made Shammah to pass by. And he said, Neither has the Lord chosen this. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 10. Again Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel. And Samuel said to Jesse, The Lord has not chosen these. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 11. And Samuel said to Jesse, Are here all your children? And he said, There remains yet the youngest, and behold, he keeps the sheep. And Samuel said to Jesse, Send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come here. First Samuel, chapter 16, verse 13. Then Samuel took the horn of oil, and anointed him in the middle of his brothers. And the Spirit of the Lord came on David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up, and went to Ramah. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 14. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 15. And Saul's servant said to him, Behold now, an evil spirit from God troubles you. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 17. And Saul said to his servants, Provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 18. Then answered one of the servants and said, Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse the Bethlehemite, that is cunning in playing, and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, and prudent in matters, and a comely person, and the Lord is with him. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 19. Why Saul sent messengers to Jesse, and said, Send me David your son, which is with the sheep. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 20. And Jesse took an ass laden with bread, and a bottle of wine, and a kid, and sent them by David his son to Saul. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 21. And David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and he became his armor-bearer. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 22. And Saul sent to Jesse, saying, Let David, I pray you, stand before me, for he has found favor in my sight. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 23. And it came to pass, when the evil spirit from God was on Saul, that David took an harp, and played with his hand. So Saul was refreshed, and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him. 1 Samuel, chapter 17, verse 1. Now the Philistines gathered together their armies to battle, and were gathered together at Shochoh, which belongs to Judah, and pitched between Shochoh and Azekah, in Ephesdamum. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 2. And Saul and the men of Israel were gathered together, and pitched by the valley of Elah, and set the battle in array against the Philistines. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 3. And the Philistines stood on a mountain on the one side, and Israel stood on a mountain on the other side, and there was a valley between them. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 40. And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines, named Goliath, of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 5. And he had an helmet of brass on his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail, and the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 6. And he had greaves of brass on his legs, and a target of brass between his shoulders. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 7. And the staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam, and his spear's head weighed 600 shekels of iron, and one bearing a shield went before him. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 8. And he stood and cried to the armies of Israel, and said to them, Why are you come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine, and you servants to Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 9. If he be able to fight with me and to kill me, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall you be our servants and serve us. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 10. And the Philistine said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 11. When Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistine, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 12. Now David was the son of that Ephrathite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse. And he had 8 sons. And the man went among men who were an old man in the days of Saul. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 13. And the 3 oldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle. And the names of his 3 sons that went to the battle were Eliab the firstborn, and next to him Abinadab, and the third Shema. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 14. And David was the youngest, and the 3 oldest followed Saul. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 15. But David went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 16. And the Philistine drew near morning and evening, and presented himself 40 days. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 17. And Jesse said to David his son, Take now for your brothers an ephah of this parched corn, and these 10 loaves, and run to the camp of your brothers. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 18. And carry these 10 cheeses to the captain of their 1,000, and look how your brothers fare, and take their pledge. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 19. Now Saul and they, and all the men of Israel, were in the valley of Elah, fighting with the Philistines. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 20. And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with a keeper, and took and went, as Jesse had commanded him, and he came to the trench as the host was going forth to the fight, and shouted for the battle. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 21. For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array, army against army. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 22. And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage, and ran into the army, and came and saluted his brothers. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 23. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spoke according to the same words, and David heard them. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 24. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him, and were sore afraid. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 25. And the men of Israel said, Have you seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be, that the man who kills him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 26. And David spoke to the men that stood by him, saying, What shall be done to the man that kills this Philistine, and takes away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God? 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 27. And the people answered him after this manner, saying, So shall it be done to the man that kills him. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 28. And Eliab his oldest brother heard when he spoke to the men. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and he said, Why came you down here? And with whom have you left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know your pride, and the naughtiness of your heart, for you are come down, that you might see the battle. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 29. And David said, What have I now done? Is there not a cause? 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 30. And he turned from him toward another, and spoke after the same manner. And the people answered him again after the former manner. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 31. And when the words were heard which David spoke, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 32. And David said to Saul, Let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 33. And Saul said to David, You are not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for you are but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 34. And David said to Saul, Your servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 35. And I went out after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 36. Your servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he has defied the armies of the living God. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 37. David said moreover, The Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion, and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said to David, Go, and the Lord be with you. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 38. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put an helmet of brass on his head. Also he armed him with a coat of mail. 1 Samuel chapter 17, Verse 39. And David girded his sword on his armor, and he essayed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said to Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 40. And he took his staff in his hand, and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and put them in a shepherd's bag, which he had, even in a money. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 41. And the Philistine came on and drew near to David, and the man that bore the shield went before him. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 42. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth, and ruddy, and of a fair countenance. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 43. And the Philistine said to David, Am I a dog, that you come to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 44. And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give your flesh to the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 45. Then said David to the Philistine, You come to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 46. This day will the Lord deliver you into my hand, and I will smite you, and take your head from you, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day to the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 47. And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saves not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 48. And it came to pass, when the Philistine arose, and came, and drew near to meet David, that David hastened, and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 49. And David put his hand in his bag, and took there a stone, and slang it, and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell on his face to the earth. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 50. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine, and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 51. Therefore David ran, and stood on the Philistine, and took his sword, and drew it out of the sheath thereof, and slew him, and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 52. And the men of Israel and of Judah arose, and shouted, and pursued the Philistines, until you come to the valley, and to the gates of Ekron. And the wounded of the Philistines fell down by the way to Shaaraim, even to Gath, and to Ekron. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 53. And the children of Israel returned from chasing after the Philistines, and they spoiled their tents. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 54. And David took the head of the Philistine, and brought it to Jerusalem, but he put his armor in his tent. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 55. And when Saul saw David go forth against the Philistine, he said to Abner, the captain of the host, Abner, whose son is this youth? And Abner said, As your soul lives, O king, I cannot tell. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 56. And the king said, Inquire you whose son the stripling is. First Samuel chapter 17, verse 58. And Saul said to him, Whose son are you, you young man? And David answered, I am the son of your servant Jesse the Bethlehemite. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 1. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking to Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 2. And Saul took him that day, and would let him go no more home to his father's house. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 3. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant, because he loved him as his own soul. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 4. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was on him, and gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 5. And David went out wherever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 6. And it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of all cities of Israel, singing and dancing, to meet King Saul, with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 7. And the women answered one another as they played, and said, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 8. And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him. And he said, They have ascribed to David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the kingdom? 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 9. And Saul eyed David from that day and forward. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 10. And it came to pass on the morrow, that the evil spirit from God came on Saul, and he prophesied in the middle of the house. And David played with his hand, as at other times. And there was a javelin in Saul's hand. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 11. And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 12. And Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him, and was departed from Saul. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 13. Therefore Saul removed him from him, and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 14. And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and the Lord was with him. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 15. Why, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 16. But all Israel and Judah loved David, because he went out and came in before them. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 17. And Saul said to David, Behold my elder daughter Merab. Her will I give you to wife. Only be you valiant for me, and fight the Lord's battles. For Saul said, "Let not my hand be on him, but let the hand of the Philistines be on him." 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 18. And David said to Saul, "Who am I, and what is my life, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king?" 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 19. But it came to pass at the time when Merab Saul's daughter should have been given to David, that she was given to Adriel the Meholethite to wife. 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 20. And Michal Saul's daughter loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 21. And Saul said, "I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him, and that the hand of the Philistines may be against him." Why Saul said to David, "You shall this day be my son-in-law in the one of the two." 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 22. And Saul commanded his servants, saying, "Commune with David secretly, and say, Behold, the king has delight in you, and all his servants love you. Now therefore be the king's son-in-law." 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 23. And Saul's servants spoke those words in the ears of David. And David said, "Seems it to you a light thing to be a king's son-in-law, seeing that I am a poor man, and lightly esteemed?" 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 24. And the servants of Saul told him, saying, On this manner spoke David. 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 25. And Saul said, "Thus shall you say to David, The king desires not any dowry, but 100 foreskins of the Philistines, to be avenged of the king's enemies." But Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines. 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 26. And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law, and the days were not expired. 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 27. Why David arose and went, he and his men, and slew of the Philistines 200 men. And David brought their foreskins, and they gave them in full tale to the king, that he might be the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him Michal his daughter to wife. 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 28. And Saul saw and knew that the Lord was with David, and that Michal Saul's daughter loved him. 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 29. And Saul was yet the more afraid of David, and Saul became David's enemy continually. 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 30. Then the princes of the Philistines went forth, and it came to pass after they went forth, that David behaved himself more wisely than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was much set by. 1 Samuel chapter 19 verse 1. And Saul spoke to Jonathan his son, and to all his servants, that they should kill David. 1 Samuel chapter 19 verse 2. But Jonathan Saul's son delighted much in David, and Jonathan told David, saying, Saul my father seeks to kill you. Now therefore, I pray you, take heed to yourself until the morning, and abide in a secret place, and hide yourself. 1 Samuel chapter 19 verse 3. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where you are, and I will commune with my father of you, and what I see, that I will tell you. 1 Samuel chapter 19, verse 4. And Jonathan spoke good of David to Saul his father, and said to him, Let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he has not sinned against you, and because his works have been to you, ward, very good. 1 Samuel chapter 19 verse 5. For he did put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistine. And the Lord worked a great salvation for all Israel, You saw it, and did rejoice. Why then will you sin against innocent blood, to slay David without a cause? 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 6. And Saul listened to the voice of Jonathan. And Saul swore, as the Lord lives, he shall not be slain. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 7. And Jonathan called David, and Jonathan showed him all those things. And Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence, as in times past. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 8. And there was war again. And David went out, and fought with the Philistines, and slew them with a great slaughter, and they fled from him. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 9. And the evil spirit from the Lord was on Saul, as he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand, and David played with his hand. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 10. And Saul sought to smite David even to the wall with the javelin, but he slipped away out of Saul's presence, and he smote the javelin into the wall. And David fled, and escaped that night. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 11. Saul also sent messengers to David's house, to watch him, and to slay him in the morning. And Michal, David's wife, told him, saying, If you save not your life tonight, tomorrow you shall be slain. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 12. So Michal let David down through a window, and he went and fled and escaped. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 13. And Michal took an image and laid it in the bed and put a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster and covered it with a cloth. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 14. And when Saul sent messengers to take David, she said, He is sick. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 15. And Saul sent the messengers again to see David, saying, Bring him up to me in the bed, that I may slay him. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 16. And when the messengers were come in, behold, there was an image in the bed, with a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 17. And Saul said to Michal, Why have you deceived me so, and sent away my enemy, that he has escaped? And Michal answered Saul, He said to me, Let me go. Why should I kill you? 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 18. So David fled and escaped, and came to Samuel to Ramah, and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he and Samuel went and dwelled in Naioth. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 19. And it was told Saul, saying, Behold, David is at Naioth in Ramah. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 20. And Saul sent messengers to take David. And when they saw the company of the prophets prophesying, and Samuel standing as appointed over them, the Spirit of God was on the messengers of Saul, and they also prophesied. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 21. And when it was told Saul, he sent other messengers, and they prophesied likewise. And Saul sent messengers again the third time, and they prophesied also. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 22. Then went he also to Ramah, and came to a great well that is in Situ. And he asked and said, Where are Samuel and David? And one said, Behold, they be at Naioth in Ramah. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 23. And he went thither to Naioth in Ramah, and the Spirit of God was on him also. And he went on, and prophesied, until he came to Naioth in Ramah. 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 24. And he stripped off his clothes also, and prophesied before Samuel in like manner, and lay down naked all that day, and all that night. Why, they say, is Saul also among the prophets? 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 1. And David fled from Naioth in Ramah, and came and said before Jonathan, What have I done? What is my iniquity? And what is my sin before your father, that he seeks my life? 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 2. And he said to him, God forbid, you shall not die. Behold, my father will do nothing either great or small, but that he will show it me. And why should my father hide this thing from me? It is not so. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 3. And David swore moreover, and said, Your father certainly knows that I have found grace in your eyes. And he says, Let not Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly as the Lord lives, and as your soul lives, there is but a step between me and death. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 40. Then said Jonathan to David, Whatever your soul desires, I will even do it for you. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 5. And David said to Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field to the third day at even. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 6. If your father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me, that he might run to Bethlehem his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 7. If he say thus, it is well. Your servant shall have peace. But if he be very wroth, then be sure that evil is determined by him. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 8. Therefore you shall deal kindly with your servant, for you have brought your servant into a covenant of the Lord with you. Notwithstanding, if there be in me iniquity, slay me yourself, for why should you bring me to your father? 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 9. And Jonathan said, Far be it from you. For if I knew certainly that evil were determined by my father to come on you, then would not I tell it you? 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 10. Then said David to Jonathan, Who shall tell me? Or what if your father answer you roughly? 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 11. And Jonathan said to David, Come, and let us go out into the field. And they went out both of them into the field. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 12. And Jonathan said to David, O Lord God of Israel, when I have sounded my father about tomorrow any time, or the third day, and behold, if there be good toward David, and I then send not to you, and show it. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 13. The Lord do so and much more to Jonathan. But if it please my father to do evil, then I will show it you, and send you away, that you may go in peace, and the Lord be with you, as he has been with my father. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 14. And you shall not only while yet I live show me the kindness of the Lord, that I die not. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 15. But also you shall not cut off your kindness from my house forever. No, not when the Lord has cut off the enemies of David, every one from the face of the earth. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 16. So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, Let the Lord even require it at the hand of David's enemies. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 17. And Jonathan caused David to swear again, because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 18. Then Jonathan said to David, "Tomorrow is the new moon, and you shall be missed, because your seat will be empty." 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 19. And when you have stayed 3 days, then you shall go down quickly, and come to the place where you did hide yourself when the business was in hand, and shall remain by the stone Ezel. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 20. And I will shoot 3 arrows on the side thereof, as though I shot at a mark. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 21. And, behold, I will send a lad, saying, Go, find out the arrows. If I expressly say to the lad, Behold, the arrows are on this side of you, take them, then come you, for there is peace to you, and no hurt, as the Lord lives. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 22. But if I say thus to the young man, Behold, the arrows are beyond you, go your way, for the Lord has sent you away. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 23. And as touching the matter which you and I have spoken of, behold, the Lord be between you and me forever. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 24. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 25. And the king sat on his seat, as at other times, even on a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 26. Nevertheless, Saul spoke not anything that day, for he thought, Something has befallen him. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 27. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the 2nd day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said to Jonathan his son, Why comes not the son of Jesse to meat, neither yesterday nor today? 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 28. And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 29. And he said, Let me go, I pray you, for our family has a sacrifice in the city, and my brother, he has commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in your eyes, let me get away, I pray you, and see my brothers. Therefore he comes not to the king's table. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 30. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said to him, You son of the perverse, rebellious woman, do not I know that you have chosen the son of Jesse to your own confusion, and to the confusion of your mother's nakedness? 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 31. For as long as the son of Jesse lives on the ground, you shall not be established, nor your kingdom. Why now send and fetch him to me, for he shall surely die. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 32. And Jonathan answered Saul his father, and said to him, Why shall he be slain? What has he done? 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 33. And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him, whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 34. So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and did eat no meat the 2nd day of the month, for he was grieved for David, because his father had done him shame. 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 35. And it came to pass in the morning that Jonathan went out into the field, at the time appointed with David, and a little lad with him. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 36. And he said to his lad, Run, find out now the arrows which I shoot. And as the lad ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 37. And when the lad was come to the place of the arrow which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried after the lad, and said, Is not the arrow beyond you? 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 38. And Jonathan cried after the lad, Make speed, haste, stay not. And Jonathan's lad gathered up the arrows, and came to his master. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 39. But the lad knew not anything. Only Jonathan and David knew the matter. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 40. And Jonathan gave his artillery to his lad, and said to him, Go, carry them to the city. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 41. And as soon as the lad was gone, David arose out of a place toward the south, and fell on his face to the ground, and bowed himself 3 times. And they kissed one another, and wept one with another, until David exceeded. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 42. And Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, for as much as we have sworn both of us in the name of the Lord, saying, The Lord be between me and you, and between my seed and your seed forever. And he arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 1. Then came David to Nob to Ahimelech the priest. And Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David, and said to him, Why are you alone, and no man with you? 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 2. And David said to Ahimelech the priest, The king has commanded me a business, and has said to me, Let no man know anything of the business about which I send you, and what I have commanded you, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 3. Now therefore, what is under your hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 4. And the priest answered David and said, There is no common bread under my hand, but there is hallowed bread, if the young men have kept themselves at least from women. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 5. And David answered the priest and said to him, Of a truth women have been kept from us about these 3 days, since I came out. And the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in a manner common, yes, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 6. So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread there but the show bread that was taken from before the Lord, to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 7. Now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord, and his name was Doeg, an Edomite, the most chief of the herdsmen that belonged to Saul. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 8. And David said to Ahimelech, And is there not here under your hand spear or sword? For I have neither brought my sword nor my weapons with me, because the king's business required haste. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 9. And the priest said, The sword of Goliath, the Philistine, whom you slew in the valley of Elah, behold, it is here wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If you will take that, take it, for there is no other save that here. And David said, There is none like that. Give it me. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 10. And David arose and fled that day for fear of Saul, and went to Achish the king of Gath. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 11. And the servants of Achish said to him, Is not this David the king of the land? Did they not sing one to another of him in dances, saying, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s? 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 12. And David laid up these words in his heart, and was sore afraid of Achish the king of Gath. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 13. And he changed his behavior before them, and feigned himself mad in their hands, and scrabbled on the doors of the gate, and let his spittle fall down on his beard. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 14. Then said Achish to his servants, See, you see the man is mad. Why then have you brought him to me? 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 15. Have I needed of madmen, that you have brought this fellow to play the madman in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house? 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 1. David therefore departed there, and escaped to the cave Adullam. And when his brothers and all his father's house heard it, they went down thither to him. 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 2. And every one that was in distress, and every one that was in debt, and every one that was discontented, gathered themselves to him. And he became a captain over them. And there were with him about 400 men. 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 3. And David went there to Mizpah of Moab, and he said to the king of Moab, Let my father and my mother, I pray you, come forth and be with you till I know what God will do for me. 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 4. And he brought them before the king of Moab, and they dwelled with him all the while that David was in the hold. 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 5. And the prophet Gad said to David, Abide not in the hold. Depart, and get you into the land of Judah. Then David departed, and came into the forest of Hereth. 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 6. When Saul heard that David was discovered, and the men that were with him, now Saul stayed in Sheba under a tree in Ramah, having his spear in his hand, and all his servants were standing about him. 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 7. Then Saul said to his servants that stood about him, Hear now, you Benjamites. Will the son of Jesse give every one of you fields and vineyards, and make you all captains of thousands and captains of hundreds? 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 8. That all of you have conspired against me, and there is none that shows me that my son has made a league with the son of Jesse, and there is none of you that is sorry for me, or shows to me that my son has stirred up my servant against me, to lie in wait, as at this day. 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 9. Then answered Doeg the Edomite, which was set over the servants of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse coming to Nob, to Ahimelech the son of Ahitub. 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 10. And he inquired of the Lord for him, and gave him victuals, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine. 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 11. Then the king sent to call Ahimelech the priest, the son of Ahitub, and all his father's house, the priests that were in Nob, and they came all of them to the king. 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 12. And Saul said, Hear now, you son of Ahitub. And he answered, Here I am, my lord. 1 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 13. And Saul said to him, Why have you conspired against me, you and the son of Jesse, in that you have given him bread and a sword, and have inquired of God for him, that he should rise against me, to lie in wait, as at this day? 1 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 14. Then Ahimelech answered the king and said, And who is so faithful among all your servants as David, which is the king's son-in-law, and goes at your bidding, and is honorable in your house? 1 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 15. Did I then begin to inquire of God for him? Be it far from me. Let not the king impute anything to his servant, nor to all the house of my father. For your servant knew nothing of all this, less or more. 1 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 16. And the king said, You shall surely die, Ahimelech, you, and all your father's house. 1 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 17. And the king said to the footmen that stood about him, Turn and slay the priests of the Lord, because their hand also is with David, and because they knew when he fled, and did not show it to me. But the servants of the king would not put forth their hand to fall on the priests of the Lord. 1 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 18. And the king said to Doeg, Turn you, and fall on the priests. And Doeg the Edomite turned, and he fell on the priests, and slew on that day 75 persons that did wear a linen ephod. 1 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 19. And Nob, the city of the priests, smote he with the edge of the sword, both men and women, children and sucklings, and oxen, and asses, and sheep, with the edge of the sword. 1 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 20. And one of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Ahitub, named Abiathar, escaped, and fled after David. 1 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 21. And Abiathar showed David that Saul had slain the Lord's priests. 1 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 22. And David said to Abiathar, I knew it that day, when Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul, I have occasioned the death of all the persons of your father's house. 1 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 23. Abide you with me, fear not. For he that seeks my life seeks your life, but with me you shall be in safeguard. 1 Samuel, chapter 23, verse 1. Then they told David, saying, Behold, the Philistines fight against Keilah, and they rob the threshing floors. 1 Samuel, chapter 23, verse 2. Therefore David inquired of the Lord, saying, Shall I go and smite these Philistines? And the Lord said to David, Go and smite the Philistines, and save Keilah. 1 Samuel, chapter 23, verse 3. And David's men said to him, Behold, we be afraid here in Judah. How much more then if we come to Keilah against the armies of the Philistines? 1 Samuel, chapter 23, verse 4. Then David inquired of the Lord yet again. And the Lord answered him and said, Arise, go down to Keilah, for I will deliver the Philistines into your hand. 1 Samuel, chapter 23, verse 5. So David and his men went to Keilah, and fought with the Philistines, and brought away their cattle, and smote them with a great slaughter. So David saved the inhabitants of Keilah. 1 Samuel, chapter 23, verse 6. And it came to pass, when Abiathar the son of Ahimelech fled to David to Keilah, that he came down with an ephod in his hand. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 7. And it was told Saul that David was come to Keilah. And Saul said, God has delivered him into my hand, for he is shut in by entering into a town that has gates and bars. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 8. And Saul called all the people together to war, to go down to Keilah, to besiege David and his men. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 9. And David knew that Saul secretly practiced mischief against him. And he said to Abiathar the priest, Bring here the ephod. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 10. Then said David, O Lord God of Israel, your servant has certainly heard that Saul seeks to come to Keilah, to destroy the city for my sake. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 11. Will the men of Keilah deliver me up into his hand? Will Saul come down as your servant has heard? O Lord God of Israel, I beseech you, tell your servant. And the Lord said, He will come down. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 12. Then said David, Will the men of Keilah deliver me and my men into the hand of Saul? And the Lord said, They will deliver you up. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 13. Then David and his men, which were about 600, arose and departed out of Keilah, and went wherever they could go. And it was told Saul that David was escaped from Keilah, and he declined to go forth. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 14. And David stayed in the wilderness in strongholds, and remained in a mountain in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul sought him every day, but God delivered him not into his hand. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 15. And David saw that Saul was come out to seek his life, and David was in the wilderness of Ziph in a wood. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 16. And Jonathan Saul's son arose, and went to David into the wood, and strengthened his hand in God. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 17. And he said to him, Fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find you, and you shall be king over Israel, and I shall be next to you. And that also Saul my father knows. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 18. And they two made a covenant before the Lord. And David stayed in the wood, and Jonathan went to his house. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 19. Then came up the Ziphites to Saul to Gibeah, saying, Does not David hide himself with us in strongholds in the wood, in the hill of Keilah, which is on the south of Jeshimon? 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 20. Now therefore, O king, come down according to all of the desire of your soul to come down, and our part shall be to deliver him into the king's hand. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 21. And Saul said, Blessed be you of the Lord, for you have compassion on me. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 22. Go, I pray you, prepare yet, and know and see his place where his haunt is, and who has seen him there, for it is told me that he deals very subtly. 1 Samuel chapter 23 verse 23. See therefore, and take knowledge of all the lurking places where he hides himself, and come you again to me with a certainty. And I will go with you, and it shall come to pass, if he be in the land, that I will search him out throughout all of the thousands of Judah. 1 Samuel chapter 23 Verse 24. And they arose, and went to Ziph before Saul. But David and his men were in the wilderness of Maon, in the plain on the south of Jeshimon. 1 Samuel, chapter 23, verse 25. Saul also and his men went to seek him, and they told David why he came down into a rock and stayed in the wilderness of Maon. And when Saul heard that, he pursued after David in the wilderness of Maon. 1 Samuel chapter 23, verse 26. And Saul went on this side of the mountain, and David and his men on that side of the mountain. And David made haste to get away for fear of Saul. For Saul and his men compassed David and his men round about to take them. 1 Samuel chapter 23, verse 27. But there came a messenger to Saul, saying, Haste you, and come, for the Philistines have invaded the land. 1 Samuel chapter 23, verse 28. Why Saul returned from pursuing after David, and went against the Philistines. Therefore they called that place Selahammalakoth. 1 Samuel chapter 23, verse 29. And David went up from there, and dwelled in strongholds at En-gedi. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 1. And it came to pass, when Saul was returned from following the Philistines, that it was told him, saying, Behold, David is in the wilderness of En-gedi. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 2. Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all Israel, and went to seek David and his men on the rocks of the wild goats. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 3. And he came to the sheepcotes by the way, where was a cave. And Saul went in to cover his feet, and David and his men remained in the sides of the cave. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 4. And the men of David said to him, Behold the day of which the Lord said to you, Behold, I will deliver your enemy into your hand, that you may do to him as it shall seem good to you. Then David arose, and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe privately. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 5. And it came to pass afterward, that David's heart smote him, because he had cut off Saul's skirt. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 6. And he said to his men, The Lord forbid that I should do this thing to my master, the Lord's anointed, to stretch forth my hand against him, seeing he is the anointed of the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 7. So David stayed his servants with these words, and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave, and went on his way. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 8. David also arose afterward, and went out of the cave, and cried after Saul, saying, My lord the king! And when Saul looked behind him, David stooped with his face to the earth, and bowed himself. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 9. And David said to Saul, Why hear you men's words, saying, Behold, David seeks your hurt? 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 10. Behold, this day your eyes have seen how that the Lord had delivered you today into my hand in the cave, and some bade me kill you, but my eye spared you. And I said, I will not put forth my hand against my Lord, for he is the Lord's anointed. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 11. Moreover, my father, see the skirt of your robe in my hand. For in that I cut off the skirt of your robe, and killed you not. Know you, and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in my hand, and I have not sinned against you. Yet you hunt my soul to take it. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 12. The Lord judge between me and you, and the Lord avenge me of you. But my hand shall not be on you. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 13. As says the proverb of the ancients, wickedness proceeds from the wicked, but my hand shall not be on you. 1 Samuel, chapter 24, verse 14. After whom is the king of Israel come out? After whom do you pursue? After a dead dog, after a flea. 1 Samuel, chapter 24, verse 15. The Lord therefore be judge, and judge between me and you, and see, and plead my cause, and deliver me out of your hand. 1 Samuel, chapter 24, verse 16. And it came to pass, when David had made an end of speaking these words to Saul, that Saul said, Is this your voice, my son David? And Saul lifted up his voice, and wept. 1 Samuel, chapter 24, verse 17. And he said to David, You are more righteous than I, for you have rewarded me good, whereas I have rewarded you evil. 1 Samuel, chapter 24, verse 18. And you have showed this day how that you have dealt well with me. For as much as when the Lord had delivered me into your hand, you killed me not. 1 Samuel, chapter 24, verse 19. For if a man find his enemy, will he let him go well away? Why, the Lord reward you good for that, you have done to me this day. 1 Samuel, chapter 24, verse 20. And now, behold, I know well that you shall surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in your hand. 1 Samuel, chapter 24, verse 21. Swear now therefore to me by the Lord, that you will not cut off my seed after me, and that you will not destroy my name out of my father's house. 1 Samuel, chapter 24, verse 22. And David swore to Saul, and Saul went home, but David and his men got them up to the hold. 1 Samuel, chapter 25, verse 1. And Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together, and lamented him, and buried him in his house at Ramah. And David arose, and went down to the wilderness of Paran. 1 Samuel, chapter 25, verse 2. And there was a man in Maon, whose possessions were in Carmel. And the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep, and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. 1 Samuel, chapter 25, verse 3. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding, and of a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. 1 Samuel, chapter 25, verse 4. And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. 1 Samuel, chapter 25, verse 5. And David sent out 10 young men. And David said to the young men, Get you up to Carmel and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. 1 Samuel, chapter 25, verse 6. And thus shall you say to him that lives in prosperity, Peace be both to you, and peace be to your house, and peace be to all that you have. 1 Samuel, chapter 25, verse 7. And now I have heard that you have shearers. Now your shepherds which were with us, we hurt them not, neither was there anything missing to them, all the while they were in Carmel. 1 Samuel, chapter 25, verse 8. Ask your young men, and they will show you. Why let the young men find favor in your eyes? For we come in a good day. Give, I pray you, whatever comes to your hand to your servants, and to your son David. 1 Samuel, chapter 25, verse 9. And when David's young men came, they spoke to Nabal according to all those words in the name of David, and ceased. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 10. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, Who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 11. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers, and give it to men, whom I know not from where they be? 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 12. So David's young men turned their way, and went again, and came and told him all those sayings. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 13. And David said to his men, Gird you on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword, and David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 stayed by the stuff. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 14. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 15. But the men were very good to us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything, as long as we were conversant with them when we were in the fields. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 16. They were a wall to us both by night and day, all the while we were with them, keeping the sheep. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 17. Now therefore know and consider what you will do, for evil is determined against our master, and against all his household, for he is such a son of Belial that a man cannot speak to him. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 18. Then Abigail made haste, and took 200 loaves, and 2 bottles of wine, and 5 sheep ready dressed, and 5 measures of parched corn, and 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on asses. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 19. And she said to her servants, Go on before me. Behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 20. And it was so, as she rode on the ass, that she came down by the covert on the hill. And behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met them. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 21. Now David had said, Surely in vain have I kept all that this fellow has in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that pertained to him, and he has requited me evil for good. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 22. So and more also do God to the enemies of David, if I leave of all that pertain to him by the morning light any that urinates against the wall. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 23. And when Abigail saw David, she hurried, and lighted off the ass, and fell before David on her face, and bowed herself to the ground. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 24. And fell at his feet and said, On me, my Lord, on me let this iniquity be. And let your handmaid, I pray you, speak in your audience and hear the words of your handmaid. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 25. Let not my Lord, I pray you, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal, for as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I your handmaid saw not the young men of my Lord, whom you did send. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 26. Now therefore, my Lord, as the Lord lives, and as your soul lives, Seeing the Lord has withheld you from coming to shed blood, and from avenging yourself with your own hand, now let your enemies, and they that seek evil to my Lord, be as Nabal. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 27. And now this blessing which your handmaid has brought to my Lord, let it even be given to the young men that follow my Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 28. I pray you, forgive the trespass of your handmaid, for the Lord will certainly make my Lord a sure house, because my Lord fights the battles of the Lord, and evil has not been found in you all your days. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 29. Yet a man has risen to pursue you, and to seek your soul. But the soul of my Lord shall be bound in the bundle of life with the Lord your God, and the souls of your enemies. Them shall he sling out, as out of the middle of a sling. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 30. And it shall come to pass, when the Lord shall have done to my Lord according to all the good that he has spoken concerning you, and shall have appointed you ruler over Israel. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 31. That this shall be no grief to you, nor offense of heart to my Lord, either that you have shed blood causeless, or that my Lord has avenged himself. But when the Lord shall have dealt well with my Lord, then remember your hand. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 32. And David said to Abigail, Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, which sent you this day to meet me. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 33. And blessed be your advice, and blessed be you, which have kept me this day from coming to shed blood, and from avenging myself with my own hand. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 34. For in very deed as the Lord God of Israel lives, which has kept me back from hurting you, except you had hurried and come to meet me, surely there had not been left to Nabal by the morning light any that urinates against the wall. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 35. So David received of her hand that which he had brought him, and said to her, Go up in peace to your house. See, I have listened to your voice, and have accepted your person. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 36. And Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he held a feast in his house, like the feast of a king. And Nabal's heart was merry within him, for he was very drunken. Why she told him nothing, less or more, until the morning light. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 37. But it came to pass in the morning, when the wine was gone out of Nabal, and his wife had told him these things, that his heart died within him, and he became as a stone. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 38. And it came to pass about 10 days after, that the Lord smote Nabal, that he died. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 39. And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be the Lord, that has pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal, and has kept his servant from evil. For the Lord has returned the wickedness of Nabal on his own head. And David sent and communed with Abigail to take her to him to wife. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 40. And when the servants of David were come to Abigail to Carmel, they spoke to her, saying, David sent us to you to take you to him to wife. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 41. And she arose, and bowed herself on her face to the earth, and said, Behold, let your handmaid be a servant to wash the feet of the servants of my Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 42. And Abigail hurried, and arose and rode on an ass, with 5 damsels of hers that went after her. And she went after the messengers of David, and became his wife. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 43. David also took Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they were also both of them his wives. 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 44. But Saul had given Michal his daughter, David's wife, to Phalti the son of Laish, which was of Gallim. 1 Samuel chapter 26 verse 1. And the Ziphites came to Saul to Gebeba, saying, Does not David hide himself in the hill of Hachilah, which is before Jeshimon? 1 Samuel chapter 26 verse 2. Then Saul arose and went down to the wilderness of Ziph, having 3,000 chosen men of Israel with him, to seek David in the wilderness of Ziph. 1 Samuel chapter 26 verse 3. And Saul pitched in the hill of Hachilah, which is before Jeshimon, by the way. But David stayed in the wilderness, and he saw that Saul came after him into the wilderness. 1 Samuel chapter 26 verse 40. David therefore sent out spies, and understood that Saul was come in very deed. 1 Samuel chapter 26 verse 5. And David arose, and came to the place where Saul had pitched. And David beheld the place where Saul lay, and Abner the son of Ner, the captain of his host. And Saul lay in the trench, and the people pitched round about. 1 Samuel chapter 26 verse 6. Then answered David and said to Ahimelech the Hittite, and to Abishai the son of Zeruiah, brother to Joab, saying, Who will go down with me to Saul to the camp? And Abishai said, I will go down with you. 1 Samuel chapter 26 verse 7. So David and Abishai came to the people by night. And behold, Saul lay sleeping within the trench, and his spear stuck in the ground at his bolster. But Abner and the people lay round about him. 1 Samuel chapter 26, verse 8. Then said Abishai to David, God has delivered your enemy into your hand this day? Now therefore let me smite him, I pray you, with the spear even to the earth at once, and I will not smite him the second time. 1 Samuel chapter 26, verse 9. And David said to Abishai, Destroy him not. For who can stretch forth his hand against the Lord's anointed, and be guiltless? 1 Samuel chapter 26, verse 10. David said furthermore, As the Lord lives, the Lord shall smite him, or his day shall come to die, or he shall descend into battle and perish. 1 Samuel chapter 26, verse 11. The Lord forbid that I should stretch forth my hand against the Lord's anointed, but I pray you, take you now the spear that is at his bolster, and the cruse of water, and let us go. 1 Samuel chapter 26, verse 12. So David took the spear and the cruse of water from Saul's bolster, and they got them away, and no man saw it, nor knew it, neither awaked, for they were all asleep, because a deep sleep from the Lord was fallen on them. 1 Samuel chapter 26, verse 13. Then David went over to the other side and stood on the top of an hill afar off, a great space being between them. 1 Samuel chapter 26, verse 14. And David cried to the people, and to Abner the son of Ner, saying, Answer you not, Abner. Then Abner answered and said, Who are you that cry to the king? 1 Samuel chapter 26, verse 15. And David said to Abner, Are not you a valiant man? And who is like to you in Israel? Why then have you not kept your lord the king? For there came one of the people in to destroy the king your lord. 1 Samuel, chapter 26, verse 16. This thing is not good that you have done. As the Lord lives, you are worthy to die, because you have not kept your master, the Lord's anointed. And now see where the king's spear is, and the cruse of water that was at his bolster. 1 Samuel, chapter 26, verse 17. And Saul knew David's voice and said, Is this your voice, my son David? And David said, It is my voice, my lord, O king. 1 Samuel, chapter 26, verse 18. And he said, Why does my lord thus pursue after his servant? Or what have I done? Or what evil is in my hand? 1 Samuel, chapter 26, verse 19. Now therefore, I pray you, let my lord the king hear the words of his servant. If the Lord have stirred you up against me, let him accept an offering. But if they be the children of men, cursed be they before the Lord. For they have driven me out this day from abiding in the inheritance. Serve other gods. 1 Samuel, chapter 26, verse 20. Now therefore, let not my blood fall to the earth before the face of the Lord. For the king of Israel is come out to seek a flea, as when one does hunt a partridge in the mountains. 1 Samuel, chapter 26, verse 21. Then said Saul, I have sinned. Return, my son David. For I will no more do you harm, because my soul was precious in your eyes this day. Behold, I have played the fool, and have erred exceedingly. 1 Samuel, chapter 26, verse 22. And David answered and said, Behold the king's spear, and let one of the young men come over and fetch it. 1 Samuel, chapter 26, verse 23. The Lord render to every man his righteousness and his faithfulness. For the Lord delivered you into my hand today, but I would not stretch forth my hand against the Lord's anointed. 1 Samuel, chapter 26, verse 24. And behold, as your life was much set by this day in my eyes, so let my life be much set by in the eyes of the Lord, and let him deliver me out of all tribulation. 1 Samuel, chapter 26, verse 25. Then Saul said to David, Blessed be you, my son David. You shall both do great things, and also shall still prevail. So David went on his way, and Saul returned to his place. 1 Samuel, chapter 27, verse 1. And David said in his heart, I shall now perish one day by the hand of Saul. There is nothing better for me than that I should speedily escape into the land of the Philistines. And Saul shall despair of me, to seek me any more in any coast of Israel? So shall I escape out of his hand. 1 Samuel, chapter 27, verse 2. And David arose, and he passed over with the 600 men that were with him to Achish, the son of Maok, king of Gath. 1 Samuel, chapter 27, verse 3. And David dwelled with Achish at Gath, he and his men, every man with his household, even David with his 2 wives, Ahinoam the Jezreelites, and Abigail the Carmelites, Nabal's wife. 1 Samuel, chapter 27, verse 4. And it was told Saul that David was fled to Gath, and he sought no more again for him. 1 Samuel, chapter 27, verse 5. And David said to Achish, If I have now found grace in your eyes, let them give me a place in some town in the country, that I may dwell there. For why should your servant dwell in the royal city with you? 1 Samuel chapter 27, verse 6. Then Achish gave him Ziklag that day. Why Ziklag pertains to the kings of Judah to this day. 1 Samuel chapter 27, verse 7. And the time that David dwelled in the country of the Philistines was a full year and 4 months. 1 Samuel chapter 27, verse 8. And David and his men went up and invaded the Geshurites, and the Gezrites, and the Amalekites. For those nations were of old, the inhabitants of the land, as you go to Shur, even to the land of Egypt. 1 Samuel chapter 27, verse 9. And David smote the land, and left neither man nor woman alive, and took away the sheep, and the oxen, and the asses, and the camels, and the apparel, and returned, and came to Achish. 1 Samuel chapter 27, verse 10. And Achish said, Where have you made a road today? And David said, Against the south of Judah, and against the south of the Jerahmeelites, and against the south of the Kenites. 1 Samuel chapter 27, verse 11. And David saved neither man nor woman alive, to bring tidings to Gath, saying, Lest they should tell on us, saying, So did David, and so will be his manner all the while he dwells in the country of the Philistines. 1 Samuel chapter 27, verse 12. And Achish believed David, saying, He has made his people Israel utterly to abhor him. Therefore he shall be my servant forever. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare, to fight with Israel. And Achish said to David, Know you assuredly that you shall go out with me to battle, you and your men. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 2. And David said to Achish, Surely you shall know what your servant can do. And Achish said to David, Therefore will I make you keeper of my head forever. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 3. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him, and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 4. And the Philistines gathered themselves together, and came and pitched in Shunem. And Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 5. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 6. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 7. Then said Saul to his servants, Seek me a woman that has a familiar spirit, that I may go to her, and inquire of her. And his servants said to him, Behold, there is a woman that has a familiar spirit at Endor. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 8. And Saul disguised himself, and put on other raiment. And he went, and 2 men with him. And they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray you, divine to me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name to you. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 9. And the woman said to him, Behold, you know what Saul has done, how he has cut off those that have familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. Why then lay you a snare for my life, to cause me to die? 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 10. And Saul swore to her by the Lord, saying, As the Lord lives, there shall no punishment happen to you for this thing. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 11. Then said the woman, Whom shall I bring up to you? And he said, Bring me up Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 12. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spoke to Saul, saying, Why have you deceived me? For you are Saul. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 13. And the king said to her, Be not afraid, for what saw you? And the woman said to Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 14. And he said to her, What form is he of? And she said, An old man comes up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 15. And Samuel said to Saul, Why have you disquieted me, to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answers me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called you, that you may make known to me what I shall do. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 16. Then said Samuel, Why then do you ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from you, and has become your enemy? 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 17. And the Lord has done to him, as he spoke by me. For the Lord has rent the kingdom out of your hand, and given it to your neighbor, even to David. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 18. Because you obeyed not the voice of the Lord, nor executed his fierce wrath on Amalek, therefore has the Lord done this thing to you this day. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 19. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with you into the hand of the Philistines. And tomorrow shall you and your sons be with me. The Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 20. Then Saul fell straightway all along on the earth, and was sore afraid because of the words of Samuel, and there was no strength in him. For he had eaten no bread all the day, nor all the night. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 21. And the woman came to Saul, and saw that he was sore troubled, and said to him, Behold, your handmaid has obeyed your voice, and I have put my life in my hand, and have listened to your words which you spoke to me. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 22. Now therefore, I pray you, listen you also to the voice of your handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before you, and eat, that you may have strength when you go on your way. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 23. But he refused and said, I will not eat. But his servants, together with the woman, compelled him. And he listened to their voice. So he arose from the earth and sat on the bed. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 24. And the woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hurried and killed it, and took flour, and kneaded it, and did bake unleavened bread thereof. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 25. And she brought it before Saul, and before his servants, and they did eat. Then they rose up, and went away that night. 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 1. Now the Philistines gathered together all their armies to Aphek, and the Israelites pitched by a fountain which is in Jezreel. 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 2. And the lords of the Philistines passed on by hundreds and by thousands, but David and his men passed on in the rear guard with Achish. 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 3. Then said the princes of the Philistines, What do these Hebrews here? And Achish said to the princes of the Philistines, Is not this David, the servant of Saul the king of Israel, which has been with me these days, or these years? And I have found no fault in him since he fell to me to this day. 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 4. And the princes of the Philistines were wroth with him. And the princes of the Philistines said to him, Make this fellow return, that he may go again to his place which you have appointed him, and let him not go down with us to battle, lest in the battle he be an adversary to us. For with which should he reconcile himself to his master? Should it not be with the heads of these men? 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 5. Is not this David, of whom they sang one to another in dances, saying, Saul slew his thousands, and David his 10,000s? 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 6. Then Achish called David, and said to him, Surely, as the Lord lives, you have been upright, and your going out and your coming in with me in the host is good in my sight. For I have not found evil in you since the day of your coming to me to this day. Nevertheless, the Lord's favor you not. 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 7. Why now return, and go in peace, that you displease not the lords of the Philistines? 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 8. And David said to Achish, Well, what have I done? And what have you found in your servant so long as I have been with you to this day? That I may not go fight against the enemies of my lord the king? 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 9. And Achish answered and said to David, I know that you are good in my sight, as an angel of God. Notwithstanding, the princes of the Philistines have said, He shall not go up with us to the battle. 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 10. Why now rise up early in the morning with your master's servants that are come with you, and as soon as you be up early in the morning and have light, depart. 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 11. So David and his men rose up early to depart in the morning, to return into the land of the Philistines. And the Philistines went up to Jezreel. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 1. And it came to pass, when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south, and Ziklag, and smitten Ziklag, and burned it with fire. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 2. And had taken the women captives that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away, and went on their way. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 3. So David and his men came to the city, and, behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives, and their sons, and their daughters were taken captives. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 4. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept, until they had no more power to weep. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 5. And David's two wives were taken captives, Ahinoam, the Jezreelites, and Abigail the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spoke of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons, and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 7. And David said to Abiathar, the priest, Ahimelech's son, I pray you, bring me here the ephod. And Abiathar brought thither the ephod to David. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 8. And David inquired at the Lord, saying, Shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, Pursue, for you shall surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 9. So David went, he and the 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 10. But David pursued, he and 400 men, for 200 stayed behind, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook Besor. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 11. And they found an Egyptian in the field, and brought him to David, and gave him bread. And he did eat, and they made him drink water. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 12. And they gave him a piece of a cake of figs, and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his spirit came again to him. For he had eaten no bread, nor drunk any water, 3 days and 3 nights. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 13. And David said to him, To whom belong you? And from where are you? And he said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant to an Amalekite. And my master left me, because 3 days ago I fell sick. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 14. We made an invasion on the south of the Cherethites, and on the coast which belongs to Judah, and on the south of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag with fire. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 15. And David said to him, Can you bring me down to this company? And he said, Swear to me by God, that you will neither kill me, nor deliver me into the hands of my master, and I will bring you down to this company. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 16. And when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread abroad on all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing, because of all the great spoil that they had taken out of the land of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 17. And David smote them from the twilight even to the evening of the next day. And there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men, which rode on camels and fled. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 18. And David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away. And David rescued his 2 wives. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 19. And there was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil nor anything that they had taken to them. David recovered all. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 20. And David took all the flocks and the herds, which they drove before those other cattle, and said, This is David's spoil. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 21. And David came to the 200 men, which were so faint that they could not follow David, whom they had made also to abide at the brook Besor. And they went forth to meet David, and to meet the people that were with him. And when David came near to the people, he saluted them. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 22. Then answered all the wicked men and men of Belial, of those that went with David, and said, Because they went not with us, we will not give them any of the spoil that we have recovered, save to every man his wife and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 23. Then said David, You shall not do so, my brothers, with that which the Lord has given us, who has preserved us, and delivered the company that came against us into our hand. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 24. For who will listen to you in this matter? But as his part is that goes down to the battle, so shall his part be that tarries by the stuff. They shall part alike. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 25. And it was so from that day forward, that he made it a statute and an ordinance for Israel to this day. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 26. And when David came to Ziklag, he sent of the spoil to the elders of Judah, even to his friends, saying, Behold a present for you of the spoil of the enemies of the Lord. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 27. To them which were in Bethel, and to them which were in South Ramoth, and to them which were in Jatir. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 28. And to them which were in Aroer, and to them which were in Sipmoth, and to them which were in Eshtemoa. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 29. And to them which were in Rashal, and to them which were in the cities of the Jerahmeelites, and to them which were in the cities of the Kenites. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 30. And to them which were in Hormah, and to them which were in Korashan, and to them which were in Athak. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 31. And to them which were in Hebron, and to all the places where David himself and his men were wont to haunt. 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 1. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines, and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa. 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 2. And the Philistines followed hard on Saul and on his sons, and the Philistines slew Jonathan, and Abinadab, and Melchishua, Saul's sons. 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 3. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers. 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 4. Then said Saul to his armor-bearer, Draw your sword, and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come, and thrust me through, and abuse me. But his armor-bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword, and fell on it. 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 5. And when his armor-bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise on his sword, and died with him. 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 6. So Saul died, and his 3 sons, and his armor-bearer, and all his men, that same day together. 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 7. And when the men of Israel that were on the other side of the valley, and they that were on the other side Jordan, saw that the men of Israel fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, they forsook the cities and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt. 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 8. And it came to pass on the morrow, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 9. And they cut off his head, and stripped off his armor, and sent into the land of the Philistines round about, to publish it in the house of their idols, and among the people. 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 10. And they put his armor in the house of Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Bethshan. 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 11. And when the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard of that which the Philistines had done to Saul. 1 Samuel chapter 31 verse 12. All the valiant men arose, and went all night, and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Bethshan, and came to Jabesh, and burnt them there. 1 Samuel chapter 31 verse 13. And they took their bones, and buried them under a tree at Jabesh, and fasted 7 days.